Now, this is huge. I know a lot of you guys are here because you can't wait any longer to see this stimulus package finally pass. But the reports out today are huge. The implications of what we are seeing that came out today are huge and have me personally questioning what we will finally see in this stimulus package once it finally passes. We do know that in 2 days on Friday, Nancy Pelosi and the House will vote on this maybe $1.9 trillion stimulus package. But as of right now, and according to new reports, that whole thing is actually in question. Recent reports indicate that President Biden was led on, and that now he is questioning the size of this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Some of his advisors that help him put together the plan, put together this ideal, perfect, this is going to be the best thing for the United States and the American people. His advisors that helped him, craft this thing are now being told, or he is at least being told, that it's too big. This package is just too big. And this is why I personally am questioning what we are hearing and questioning this overall stimulus package. Because we might not see everything that is actually in the bill. That 591-page bill that I've already gone over. That might not be the final bill. So we do know this is what's going to be in this stimulus package. We will see $1,400 stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, state and local government funding, school funding, vaccine aid, business relief, nutrition assistance, child tax credits, earned income credits, and much more. But the actual figures and who this money goes to, that is what is currently being in question. And I can tell you right now, this actually has me a little bit upset. If you're upset about this, can you do me a favor? Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. But also, after this video is over, share this video with your friends and family on Facebook so that they too understand what is potentially coming. And this is not great news. So, reports out this afternoon are indicating that President Biden overshot the target of this stimulus package. It says this package is too large, and both Democrats and obviously Republicans do not support this, and they question its size and what is actually included in this package. I honestly, seriously, I wish I was making this up, because this seems like a nightmare. We are getting close. We have a little bit over 2 weeks until our deadline of March 14th. And now everyone's like, oh, that's too big. This is just too big. We can't support it. We oppose this package. What are our lawmakers thinking? And again, remember, we voted to have these people in office. I just can't believe it. But again, I'm not making this up. Even Dick Durbin, he's the number 2 Democrat in the Senate. He had this to say today. He said, and I quote, "I think even though several Democrats have some concerns, that we can still find a basis for agreement." So he's not talking about one Democrat. He's talking about several. He doesn't say 2. Several, I guess, would really be 2. He would be talking about Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. However, reports indicate there's more than just those 2. Those are the only 2 that are actually vocal and public about their statements. Even Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he had this to say. And again, guys, sorry if I'm coming across as a little bit frustrated, because I am. I was driving down the street today and saw another business close. Another restaurant closed, boarded up windows, simply because they will not be opening. And it's frustrating. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he had this to say today. He said, "Our country is still in the throes of crisis. Millions of Americans have reported being thousands of dollars behind in rent, on utilities. Small businesses are hanging on for dear life." And I can attest to that because I saw it firsthand today. And I'm pretty sure you see it every single day as well. But again, if you see this stuff, if you're tired of Congress just going back and forth and just toying with the American people, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and make sure you share this video with your friends and family on Facebook, because they too need to see exactly what is happening with the leaders, with our lawmakers that we put in there, that we put into Congress. So it is because of all of this that our lawmakers that we voted in again, they have been working to get this deal done as quickly as possible. They have been fighting according to multiple reports. They have been pushing, they have been urging each other, let's get it done. And remember, this has to be done before March 14th, because that is the day that millions of Americans following day, will go without any income because the unemployment benefits would expire. But this is according to multiple Senate aides. They are saying lawmakers are discussing cutting unemployment benefits down a little bit, lowering the income threshold for the $1,400 stimulus checks, and adjusting the minimum wage provisions to make it shorter and less costly per hour. One other thing is they want to do away with some of the state and local government funding. So let's talk about this for a minute. First, lawmakers want to, and I'm pretty sure this is Joe Manchin and probably a few others as well, lawmakers want to lower the threshold to the $1,400 stimulus checks. This means currently we are seeing any individual that makes $75,000 or less would receive the full $1,400 stimulus check. If they make between $75,000 and $100,000, it would be phased out proportionately to what they made. So what we know is this cutoff could actually go from $75,000 to $50,000 with the drop dead cutoff of $75,000. So lowering it down by $25,000 for an individual. For a couple, we currently know it's $150,000 with $200,000 as the cutoff. Okay? But what we are hearing, according to reports, that they want to get this, and this is something that Joe Manchin has a real concern over, and this is something that he, I guess, has stated multiple times he would support, is if the $1,400 stimulus checks went to couples that weren't making $150,000, but were making $100,000 or less. And if you make anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000, that's where the phase-outs would go into effect. But right now, we know that this could potentially save about $80 billion in funding, which is pretty good. I think Republicans would be happy about that. But we have progressives that actually want the phase-out limit to be increased or just simply lifted. So we got a group of progressives that Republicans say Nancy Pelosi is pretty much paying off to vote for this package. They want it lifted, but then we got Joe Manchin and others that say, no, it needs to be more targeted. And that's exactly what many people were telling President Biden, was this needs to be a very targeted stimulus package or else this would cause inflation. Now, today, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he said that inflation's possible, but it's going to come in spurts. It's going to come and then it's going to go. But it's just the way the economy is going to work. But it's not going to be here to stay for quite some time. And I think this has many people, very cautious about what to actually do, where to put their money, how to spend their money, and if they want to invest, where do they invest it? Because right now the stock market is crazy. There's some great deals, but there's also some things out there that are a little bit questionable. So if you want to go invest in the stock market, I highly recommend it, but don't invest with your money. What I recommend you do, go to Webull. I'll put a link down to Webull down in the description box below. You can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850 by just depositing $100 of your own money. So again, don't trade with your money. Get the free stocks, and you can trade with those. So I'll put a link to that down in the description box below if you want to go and sign up. Again, it's absolutely free. Now, regards to the unemployment benefits being extended and possibly cut, here's what we are hearing. Everybody agrees that we need additional unemployment benefits, but they can't agree on the $400 per week for an additional 24 weeks. That's where there's currently fighting. What we know, according to one report, is that this could be dropped from $400 per week, which is going to be a $100 boost to the current $300. We could see this drop from $400 back to $300. Just back to $300, so it never actually changes. We don't amend the new bill. But instead of having unemployment benefits run all the way to September, or actually to August 29th, we would see unemployment benefits, according to one report, run through June 30th. So it's going to be cut off 2 months early. 2 months, an additional 8 weeks at $300 per week, or let's say $400 per week, if that's what it was supposed to be. So instead of getting an additional, $1,600, $3,200, people on unemployment would be, miss out on $3,200. That's a big amount. So we'll see what happens there. But there's also talks of tying the unemployment rate, this $400 per week, tying that to the specific state's unemployment rate as well. So right now we're at 6.3% overall, but like some states, like for example Washington State, where I live, I think we're like 7.1% or 7%, something like that. We have Hawaii, Nevada, theirs are, and California, theirs are all over 9%. But then we have some, I think, like South Dakota, and Nebraska maybe, I don't remember exactly, but theirs is like under 3%, or like right at 3%. So that's kind of what we're seeing is, let's tie the $400, the federal unemployment boost, to the state specific unemployment rate. And I think that's going to be difficult, but that's in discussions. Now, if we do make this change, and if we do see they trim the package, we could see about $100 billion, possibly a little bit more, saved on this provision alone. And we've heard obviously multiple times, because I've done many videos previously on this, is the unemployment or the minimum wage provision. So I'm not going to go into details here, but there's multiple new packages out. I did 2 videos on those earlier today. The last one I did, which I'll link down in the description box below, go and watch that, because I addressed the 3 new minimum wage provisions or packages that are currently either being prepared, unveiled, or just being considered. So go and watch that. But we're still waiting on the Senate parliamentarian for this as well. We were supposed to hear that yesterday, then we were supposed to hear it last night, and then we were supposed to hear it this morning, and then we were supposed to hear information on this tonight. As of recording this video, we still haven't heard anything, so my guess is maybe tomorrow morning. If not tomorrow morning, I'll tell you, probably tomorrow night. So you know the routine. I'm just going to keep telling you what I'm hearing, and that's currently what we're hearing is hopefully tomorrow. So another big piece of legislation, and this is interesting. And I say this because, one, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. I mentioned this exact thing, that we could see this because a lot of people were not happy. And based on our reports, based on the statistics and the facts that we were getting, it just made sense. But what we're hearing is that another big piece of legislation that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have been fighting for 10 months, something like that, is state and local government funding. Nancy Pelosi originally wanted like $600 billion for state and local government funding. Now it's at $350 billion. But just a couple months ago, I think in October, this was actually down to 160, or not October, November, or December, this was actually down to $160 billion. Well, here's what we're hearing. There are a few Democrats and pretty much every single Republican that have issues with this $350 billion going to state and local governments and tribal territories. So some are saying that this should come closer to $150 to $200 billion in funding. If this happens, and again, this is exactly what I was saying just the other day or last week, is if we cut off $150 billion, $150 to $200 billion in this, okay, that is going to add up to $330 billion with state and local government funding, with smaller unemployment benefits, and then cutting the $1,400 stimulus checks to certain individuals or families. This is going to save roughly $330 billion, possibly up to $380. So taking that, or going into the package that's currently $1.9 trillion, if we take off the $330 billion, we're now down to $1.57 trillion. Or if we add in the other additional $50 billion, it brings us down to $1.52 trillion. And remember, it was about a month ago where I mentioned that there was multiple reports, and these weren't like big cover stories. These were like little reports on the way back of certain websites like CNN and Bloomberg and Fox News. They weren't like big cover stories. They were like way at the end, bottom of the articles, so you got to read the entire thing, which I did. And they said Republicans would be okay with spending $1.5 trillion on this stimulus package, as long as it was bipartisan. So it now looks like President Biden is kind of on the same path, that he wants to be closer to that number. And on Friday, less than a week ago, he said that if somebody came to him with a better idea and made the package better but cheaper, he would listen to that idea. Well, it seems like Republicans and possibly Democrats right now have been giving him new ideas, which could potentially make this a better package, but it would also make it cheaper. Now, I'm not on Democrat side. I'm not on Republican side. I'm trying to stay right in the middle. The only side I'm on is yours. I want to see you receive the stimulus or relief that you currently need. If it's nutrition assistance, great. I'm all on board there. If we need rental assistance, obviously I'm on board there. If we need, just basic assistance through a stimulus check or a direct, a direct deposit or whatever, right? I'm definitely on board there. I think that would help out many people. But right now, Congress and our lawmakers just can't decide on what to do. Should the package be bigger? Should it be smaller? Should it be more defined, more targeted? Or should we just incorporate everybody? Nobody knows. And that's what's so frustrating about this bill right now. So, as of right now, I have no idea what to make of what is currently going on. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you this is what we're going to see tomorrow. But I've been doing that for the past week. Like, oh, we should see this tomorrow. This is what we need to be looking for. But the problem is what we're looking for, they're changing it. They're moving the goalposts. And it's not just Democrats this time. It's not just Republicans this time. It's every single person. Even President Biden keeps moving the goalposts. And how can we, figure out, okay, what direction are we going when we don't know where the goalpost actually is? So what I can tell you right now is that Nancy Pelosi in the House is still expecting to vote on this package, on this possibly $1.9 trillion stimulus package on Friday, in just 2 days. So if they do that, that's great. We'll move it forward. But what we are hearing, there are a lot of reports saying this, that all the changes, any changes that we undergo in this stimulus package will be done in the Senate. That is where all the changes will come from. So we will have to watch and see what happens there. But as of right now, what I can tell you is that everything that we are hearing is not great news. Some is good, some is we're getting some bipartisan support. We might see a Republican, kind of vote on it, most likely within the House, not the Senate. But in the Senate, that's where everything is coming down to. So as I know more, I promise I will share more as soon as I can. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you do me a favor and do your friends and family a favor as well. First off, hit that thumbs up button. I just greatly appreciate that, and it does help out the video. But share this video over on Facebook so your friends and family know what is currently going on. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.